it's been over a year and a half of COVID-19, and while all of us are, quite frankly, heartily sick of the pandemic, imagine how our healthcare workers must feel, day in, day out, caring for the sick and the dying. It is truly a heroic task. We cannot say thank you enough to them, frankly. And that's perhaps why the South African Medical Association asked award-winning artist Lloyd Cele to compose and produce a song which is called Thank You, Caring for the Carers, to honour them. And Lloyd joins us now. Good evening, Lloyd. I'm just wondering, when you were asked to do this, how you set about saying thank you to a sector that has just been astonishing in the last year and a half.
Good evening, Sally. Well, first and foremost, when the South African Medical Association approached me, I was ecstatic, but I was also very much in awe and, just in terms of what the healthcare workers have been doing over the last few years, putting their lives at risk, and also for just the fallen heroes, the people that have moved on and passed on due to the fact that they have sacrificed their lives in order to try to save somebody else. I was really moved with compassion, and I felt like I really needed to do something that could set out a sort of a message of hope and a sense of inspiration to South Africa, especially in the season where it feels like there's been a lot of negativity. There's been a lot of bad news, and I think it's time that we as South Africans really rally around the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, and our nurses and our doctors who on a daily basis are constantly putting their lives at risk in order for us to have a better South Africa. They pretty much exemplified what Nelson Mandela was and what he was doing at that time, and the Madiba Day was a perfect day to pretty much launch what they were doing and to really support them.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me how you went about composing the song. Did you draw on specific memories, or was it a generalized tribute and just a sense of awe at what this community has done?
I think it's a sense of awe. I've got family members and friends who have been affected by COVID-19, and just trying to put myself into the space of what it must be like for those healthcare workers and for the nurses who are on a daily basis are working tirelessly. I mean, there's many of them who don't even get an opportunity to just even sleep and get some rest. They literally are like having short naps and then back at work again, That's just a reality of what's been going on over the last few months after months after months. And also we know with the numbers of COVID-19 increasing and then coming back down again, and we also are fully aware of the fact that there's not many of them are out there. We are understaffed, in terms of nurses and doctors, but they're out there. They're constantly putting their lives at risk, and they're full of passion and giving everything that they got to help us South Africans to really be a better nation after all, and to help us, just to fight the struggle of this pandemic.
Yeah.
I had to sort of put myself in that place of like what exactly it must be like to be a doctor, what it's like to be a nurse. And I started to think about their families and the sacrifice that they're putting themselves in. It's not only a risk to themselves, but it's also a risk to their families, and I had to really try to really dig deep. And as much as I went through that process, I mean, I could never really be able to understand it because I'm not a nurse, neither am I a doctor, but I was really moved with compassion. And just going through on the internet, researching and trying to get into that mind and into that space. And also speaking to Simoneo, who happens to be very much involved with a lot of doctors and nurses from the Medical Association side, I really, really felt like, I needed to capture all of those emotions, but at the same time, let those nurses and those doctors and all our healthcare workers know that we are behind them. We support them. We love them. We appreciate them. We care for them. Because I think in this season where it feels like we've just hit the third wave, and who knows, there might be a fourth wave from what I've been told later on in the year, but they need us to really support them, to make them feel like, hey, you know what, we really, really, just a tap in the back, sometimes is the best thing that you could ever do to somebody. To just acknowledge them and let them know, hey, I see what you're doing, and we know how hard it is, but you're not alone in this. we are, as South Africans, are behind you, and we appreciate what you do.
Yeah, well, Lloyd, with your wonderful musical talent, I'm delighted that you have put all that energy and all that talent into such a wonderful tribute. And thank you so much for chatting to us this evening. That, of course, is Lloyd Cele.